done many times is if we have, whether it's one business or maybe a couple businesses that have said, Brandon, I don't see our city listed. Can we work with you to create an event? And we can absolutely do that. So while we're trying to have events typically in the top 25 markets around the country, we can work with businesses where there's a good concentration of schools to make events happen. So that's one of the nice things about being such a small staff. We can be kind of nimble and kind of, change or kind of alter whatever we might be doing pretty quickly, but then again, be accommodating to what, industry feedback and needs, as we want to help those that want to help themselves and their local schools.
Yeah. And one thing to point out, and I don't want to spend everybody's time because I know everybody's got stuff to go do today and you're busy, but I do want to mention, just because this organization, this foundation exists, does not mean that they're just passing out dollars to anybody and everybody. And I think that's something important to note. So as anytime you're donating to something, you want to know that, first of all, that those dollars are going to work for what you're donating for. But second of all, that they're not just getting thrown out, just like, oh, anybody and everybody gets access to this.
Making it rain, right? We're not doing that. We're actually these instructors have to put some skin in the game in terms of, we don't want to help hobby shops. That's not the type of program that we're looking at.
Right.
There is grant applications and some processes and information that these instructors have to do in order to qualify for support. But it basically provides a profile and information about their program, which helps us better understand and showcase the industry. What is an average budget? What is an average enrollment number? It's basically helping us get data, but it basically showcases, okay, that instructor is willing to meet us halfway and showcase, I'm willing to put in the work if you guys can help us and bring the industry to help them. So to your point, not anybody can just receive donations. And again, sometimes we have schools that we could use a little extra help in having them be nudged by the local industry to say, hey, these guys are giving out $50 million a year. Why aren't you filling out this information to get that stuff that they're giving? So sometimes that local help is instrumental to make sure that we get as many schools involved as possible, as opposed to the number of schools that we hear almost on a daily basis that are closing, that are trying to do their best, but their administrators or whomever don't see the value in the programs. But that's where those businesses getting involved will help keep them around.
Yeah, it's really a collaborative effort. And I'm super excited to have you on today, because I think the more awareness we can get out there, we know that there's a problem. It's very clear we have a problem, that there is more people going out of the industry than coming into the industry. So as we can grow these programs and work together with foundations like yours, we can really create this strong, robust industry that it really can be. And it's such a great industry. You've worked in it forever. I have, grew up in it, basically love it. So I really, really urge body shop managers, owners, wherever you're at, if something you feel like this has been put on your heart, to start getting involved and just start small. Start small and maybe get on the email list and see some things that are coming up and work your way into it. But I think if you're helping out, then we're helping out the industry as a whole, because one day you're going to look around and you're going to need people. You probably are doing that today.
Yes.
You need people. Well, This is a great way to almost help yourself by getting involved in something like this.
And that's what makes my job a little bit easier as a fundraiser, is I can put a business case to asking people for support. When I could say, Mickey's Body Shop, how many entry-level people do you need? Well, we need 10 people. Okay, well, if on average, they produce or should produce roughly about $30,000 a month in revenue for the business. That times the number of people you need now, let alone a couple of years from now, as your people age out, you have a $100,000, multi-million-dollar, depending on the size of the shop, problem. You can either get involved, or you just keep kicking the can down the road and nothing ever happens. And another way to get involved, which is even easier than what we mentioned before, a lot of these instructors are resorting to dumpster diving, which means they're visiting body shops and dealerships and rummaging through trash to take parts, bumpers, fenders, hoods from the trash cans to bring back to give to the students so they can practice on current model vehicles. We want to end dumpster diving, which we want to bring a little bit of a professionalism around it. So basically what we're asking body shops and dealerships to do is save your trash. And when I say trash, I mean those bumpers, fenders, panels, things like that.
Yeah.
We can help connect you with the local school. We've got the new school semester coming up. It would make for a great back to school gift, but then hand off these parts that these instructors tell us that they are in desperate need of, so that the students aren't working on the 1980, 1970-year-old vehicle that's been in that school forever. So that's another easy way to get involved. And another real quick follow-up. We know that we need to get out in front of not just the students, the instructors, but we need to get out in front of the general public. We're developing a very stronger relationship with the American School Counselor Association. So these are school counselors from kindergarten through high school that we are being told are pretty much the gatekeepers of, Mickey, I don't know if you've got college potential, so you just go sit in, the body shop class and just sit there until graduation and you get out of my hair.
Right.
I had a great conversation. If you go to the CREF Instagram page, I just had a great conversation with the Deputy Executive Director of the School Counselor Association to say, do you guys fully understand what our opportunities are here within this industry? And I got a lot of great feedback where they get it. Not every student needs to be college bound. I was an English and journalism, major in school, but here I've been in the industry for 20 years. So we're going to educate them on what those opportunities are. But there's a lot of things in the works that we hope to be able to announce out at SEMA, where don't be surprised when you turn on your TV, and I don't know what programs you watch, Mickey, but when it comes to the commercials, in the not so distant future, you might see collision industry commercials and public service announcements being broadcasted, whether it's by a celebrity endorser or whomever, talking about, hey, parents, guess what? You have your kid in your basement that has no job or kind of current job potential. This industry, we've got more positions than available. So we need to help get that out to the general public as well.
That's amazing. Well, and like you said, the general public has this impression of our industry. And I know when people find out that I used to own an auto body shop and that I work in the collision industry, they're like, what? There's this perception of what that looks like. And so I applaud you and your team for getting out there to start shifting that, because it is appealing. There's so many great things about it, but until we can get that out there in front of the mass group of the public, basically, how do we shift that and then make it more appealing? So I really appreciate that. That's awesome.
And I invite the industry, if you like what you're hearing, we need your support to make it possible. We've got plans in place to, like what I just talked about. There's the efforts and things that are happening that, again, I can't announce quite yet, but you'll hear about it here shortly. But we need the industry support. And I don't know if the phrasing is a little right, but it's just you and I talking, Mickey, and nobody else was listening. But we essentially need to almost kind of announce a little bit of like a trade war in terms of, do we want to get the leftovers from other trades that just don't end up being great at whatever welding or other programs, or do we want to have the best students that are working on customers' cars? I don't want people practicing on my car after an accident. I want them to repair it correctly.
Right.
So we need to make sure as an industry, because there's not other foundations like us in those other technical trades for the most part. And we've always heard that, I think that there's the American Welding Society, which is obviously doing great things on that front, but there's not other foundations like us. So let's take advantage of that and make sure that we're doing as much as we can to make sure that the best are coming into these programs, but then being employed and they stay within the industry as well.
Yes. Yeah. And that's a whole nother topic.
Yes, it is.
Which, if you heard George Navarrette's or Abe Sell's podcast, you can learn a little bit more about keeping our people, our students in the industry. We won't get into that today. But Brandon, thank you so much. Such great information. I think a lot of really good takeaways. Hopefully everybody listening, even if you already knew a little bit, hopefully you know more now, and something has sparked and ignited within you to want to participate and help this industry, because it's our industry. We're a kick-ass group of people. There is no reason why we can't blow this thing up.
Thank you, Mickey. Thank you, Mickey, because you doing this with us is a way of supporting us, because it's helping to get the word out. And I sincerely appreciate that. And if there's other businesses that, whether they've got maybe an e-newsletter or their own channels of communication, just to help spread the word. No monetary donation needs to be involved. Just help us get the word out to get more people involved. That's a win for everybody.
Yeah. I love it. So we'll wrap it up for today. Once again, all the information to get a hold of Brandon and CREF and to get on the email list, whatever is comfortable for you, all going to be in the description. If you have questions for Brandon, you can email him. I do. I email him all the time. So thanks again, Brandon, for coming on. I hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time on the next episode of Body Bangin'. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We have some incredible topics and guests coming your way you will not want to miss. If you are watching on YouTube and don't want to miss the latest and greatest, you'll want to hit the bell after subscribing, so you will get a pop-up each time a video podcast goes live. To our devoted fans, would you mind paying it forward and sharing this little gem with someone else you think may benefit from it? Much love from all of us here at Body Bangin', all things auto body.